Alright, yo, what it do, Achilles? We're back. Let's talk about gemology or whatnot. So, I feel like in the next week, I should be getting close. I take this colored stones, test. I'll be taking it next week. I'm pretty confident in the material. I know the stuff. I complete the class in like 10 days, so and it takes you a year. So really, I want what I want. It's not necessarily about the money. To me, it's about passport stamps. So I'm trying to get out of here. Like, see some things, do some things, and grow. I guess not be sitting in the same place. Because in all actuality, life is short, man. Life is short. And the more I think about it, I don't like necessarily being an employee. I know that sounds bad, but you can't express yourself and you can't express your opinion. And you see that there's a particular market or a particular need, and people are not even doing that. And then you happen to be black, and you have a great idea. You might not necessarily, it's not even about the money, 100% about the money. I think it's about, being pigeonholed or back in the corner to a certain extent. Because once you're at a certain point, like being an employee, like I was reading an article or something like that, how this guy had worked for 20 years. He was like at a company and he had his feet taken from up under him. And essentially what happened was he was like 6 years away from really doing something and being good. Well, unfortunately, what this company did, they basically 60,000 people want to lose their jobs, and they're going to basically net gain all the pay from like 40,000 plus, because they're going and putting spread people out, moving people out for basically over the 4 or 5 regions that they want to go to. And me personally, how I think about that. Life is a guarantee. There's no guarantee or no absolutes. That's number one. 2, you can't put your eggs in one basket. If I'm a gemologist, I have at least some type of leeway in a sense. Where I'm at, there's not that many, and then the chapter of certain stuff that we have is very poor. They have an event like at Hillsboro, and that's like an hour and 30 minutes away from where I live at. So. I won't be attending that. And then 3, I've been looking at the stuff like the stores, merchandise, and all the stuff I apply to work at a place. That how can I put it this way? I know everything there is about watches and Rolex, and I didn't get the job. I'm not saying people owe me the job or anything like that, but I can hold my own. Beyond a reasonable doubt, I can hold my own. I watch all the content. I've been to New York, this, that, and third. Someone wanted to hire me out there. I keep in contact with the person. I really like them. They got access to heavy hitting pieces, this, that, and the third, RMs, APs. The person black too. An older gentleman. He knows a lot. He don't want me to do the hustle and bustle of if going to New York, you gotta be outside. Even if you have the jewelry thing, you work your way in. And in me personally, that's not, that's, in my honest opinion, that's kind of disrespectful to a certain degree. I mean, if you are a gemologist and stuff, you have a little bit of leeway opportunity. You can do field gemology. You could be, I follow 2 to 3 people. They follow me on my Instagram. So you want to follow me on my Instagram. It's benfrank.100. And there we go. Basically, this person goes all around the country and then all across the world. They do some real good stuff. They be on sets of movies. They do jewelry design, all this type of stuff. And when I think about the thing, I mean, I don't know about the design style component, especially with the movies. But I would say, like, for watches and this, that, and the third, Rolex is okay. I'll put it at that. I'm not a fan of them because it's too accessible. It's not even about the price range. The brand recognition is way too high with Rolex. I'm not saying that the brand recognition is bad, but for me personally, I think Rolex has a lot of durability problems. And why I would say that, Rolex does not have a heritage department, so if you buy a timepiece like a Paul Newman, a 1979, they won't be able to service it, and then they won't have the original parts. If you know something about watches, having original parts, or even a scuffed up bezel or a scuffed up crystal, as long as it's all original, the price factor will go up. Or patina, the dial basically oxidizing, now make the value essentially go up, and then the bracelet and the condition that it's in, and full set box of papers. If Newman is okay to a certain extent, it can go for $80,000 with no papers. As long as there's a bill of sales in a box or something like that, it should be good. But me personally, I think they're better watches than Rolex. I'm just sorry, that could be. You don't have to do with RM. You don't have to do anything with that. You have some good watches out here. For $13K, you can get a Longa Zone. They make a good watch. A watch retail for like $25K. Today you get it for like 13 to 14. That's not bad. It's something new, something nobody don't got, and it's not necessarily popular. And I'm one of those people, when I think about watches, I think about just the whole grand scheme of what's keeping certain stuff afloat. If you buy a watch today, and a lot of these places, what they're doing, they don't give you a paper, you're paying a premium, and they should make sure the stuff is not stolen, the stuff is not hot. And how do you make sure the stuff is not hot? Is a bill of sale or receipt or something like that. I would say if you buy the watch, you buy the person too. For a person, it's important. And don't buy a bust down watch. Bust down watches, I saw a lot of those. They look ugly. The stove setting, this, that, and the third. I don't care if people say they have 35 carats of diamond or 10 carats of diamonds up there. It's just bad. It looks terrible. Like the stones they set on the stuff do not look high quality. Now there are some jewelers who are very good and they can make the stuff. Like I saw a Rainbow Daytona. What you call it? Live in New York City. I did not film anything because, New York City, they rules, and then the jewelers and stuff like that. The people get robbed. This, that, the third. I saw RMs. I saw heavy hitters. I ain't a liar. I went there like twice. I saw Moses the jeweler. Shot in Moses. He's a cool dude. Moses, in my honest opinion, has the best deals, no matter what, in New York City. He's very straightforward to the point. His inventory is good. He's a people person. He's here to help. He makes his percentage. He gives people what they want. And service is consistently good. Now, the thing about New York City, too, I feel like the pools, if, you're not used to people being aggressive trying to get you to the shop, you're always going to be pulled a certain direction. Now, with me, how I feel about the jewelry and jewelry in general, I don't think a lot of stuff people selling is top tier in quality. I got the education behind it, but unfortunately I haven't been able to use it 100% because, again, opportunities. And two, the thing about it, I said that less money, I applied to these jobs, I said, I put this pay scale at $43,000. And to me, that's, that's fair. Now, I don't mind, working and then showing you my worth and my value. But at the same time, it's not respect ain't a two-way street because some people's respect you just not going to get. And for lack of better words, if you hustling harder than someone is and they're in a better position, I'm not saying a better position. My position is not there. You feel me? That's not no grandiose statement. That's just a fact. If you are busting your chops and someone's not necessarily valuing you or treat you with respect, and you're doing a whole lot more carrying than you should in a sense, and you're just basically out there, and you're under the guise or the impression that this is going to pay off. At the end of the day, like I said, life is no guarantee, no absolutes. You could be at a place for 15 years or whatnot. Then you have a little bit of security, then your feet get taken up under you, and then now you're out of a job. And be a little bit careful too, because you got a baby on the way. You screwed. That car, you got that brand new car, or that brand new lemon. That's something to think about. Honestly, when you put stuff in perspective, it does not sound good. Hell, a lot of stuff don't sound good, to be honest. What? I can't believe I just got shot in my head and I died that quick. Damn, my God. It is what it is, bro. Bet you want to land there again. But, like I said, with jewelry and this, that, and the third, I personally don't believe. Like, I'm looking at these jobs and what these people want to hire people. Like, I've been looked at by like bad people on films and like that in terms of like, my professional profile on particular hiring site. But I'm like, and what they're paying, I think these people are smoking crack. If basically what you're basically getting paid, it has nothing to do with even if you making like $97,000, that's not that much money. When you factor in rent, and I know people talk about two people living together. I mean, Manhattan apartments, I would never consider living in Manhattan unless I had like $60,000, and I know for sure I had a job, like, the jewelry search, stuff like that. But I wouldn't stay more than a year and a half. I'm going to be honest. Because there's no way that I'm going to be spending, $60,000 a year in rent. Then I think about health insurance. Then I got to think about a doctor, dentist, and all that type of stuff. Healthcare. Then I got to think about security. Then I got to think about transportation. I'm not taking no public transportation. I just don't believe in that. People get stabbed, people get shot. It's just all sort of type of stuff. Like, people the other day, they were in Dollar General, they got shot. Rest of those people had a cousin live in Jacksonville. That's absolutely crazy. But at the end of the day, when you really think about it, put it in perspective, I mean, in all actuality, like, even with jobs, working 20 years for somebody is not a guarantee you're going to be well off financially. I know people like security, people like this, that, and the third, but being an employee is great. It gives you your baseline. People talk about skills, people talk about this. sometimes these skills are not transferable. Like if I work in a traditional sense in an environment where there's no growth, there's no learning, and there was no training at all, and you get put out to the thing, sometimes you can't make doo-doo sell. And like I just hate to put it like that. You can't make doo-doo sell. Like if someone's going to go out here and do a job of puffery, because I mean that's a lot of what sales is, just puffery. You know, something that's, you know, I would say considerably at a big piece, the value is artificially inflated. Like let's say like a timeshare. A timeshare is an elaborate scam. And the way people are making it seem like you're going to generate some income, but how often you're going to be able to get to that basically your timeshare, and how often do the people, they have all these annual fees, hidden fees, they don't tell people that, they just count on people be a lollipop sucker. And the thing that I would hate for someone to do is getting taken advantage of or be these guys. A lot of these people not hold themselves accountable. They don't care about you, they don't care about your pockets, they don't care about anything. They're just trying to get you to do anything or sign anything. They basically fatten their pockets, and they basically call you a lollipop sucker. At the end of the day, imagine you get 5 people to get into a timeshare at 80 grand a pop. That's $400,000. And then commissions, they probably get like 14%. So they're doing pretty good. Probably between 10 and 12. So either way, they're still doing pretty good, in my opinion. That's not necessarily a good thing. Because basically that's something what you're doing is like what? That's, let's see. Them people are making at least $42,000 off you. Off that whole ordeal. And basically after everything is said and done, you know, timeshares are very, very hard to sell. Just like insurance. But to me, they're one and the same. Your realized gains or whatever are not going to be right away. Someone probably like, what am I talking about? Especially with timeshare. I don't really think I saw somebody like be a real estate investor or a person doing real estate in New York, and they sell stuff to billionaires, and I'm like, I'm not really impressed by that. It's not anything I'm jealous or anything like that. I just don't really see that that's the value of that. It's artificial. Number one, that's not really necessarily prime real estate. Prime real estate is a diamond district. You have like, I want to say $14 billion on that block, estimated value. $14 billion on that block. People say people are homeless, people this, that, and the third. Well, I'm here to say people are homeless for a variety of reasons. I think it has to do with a lot of mental illness, drug abuse, this, that, and the third. Well, untreated mental illness. I'll probably say that. And cost of living. If you have someone paying $10,000 for basically 20 square foot space of booth, there's not whole mental gymnastics you can basically say for that. Oh, it's in a, prime real estate. I mean, that is prime real estate, but at the same time, you guys, we're selling you jewelry, you have to be getting it. Some of this stuff doesn't sell. And a lot of this, why it doesn't sell is because of ego. If you have a particular product, it's not going to sell itself. You got to do some puffery. You got to think about taxes. You got to make sure inventory moves. And some stuff, I definitely know these guys are taking a hit because it won't move like that. And the beautiful thing about, to a certain extent, everybody's right there. So I mean, in a way, you do have an out, and then sometimes you don't have an out. I think the guys there are secretly in a competition with each other, and in terms of numbers, this, that, the third. But for lack of better words, I don't think that something they're doing sometimes is sustainable. Like, you might have an RM 55 Dark Legend. You might have all these different watches, this, that, and the third. But the average person who comes in there is only buying a $5,500 Rolex. So if you're talking about your VIP clients, I just saw some heavy hit watches, man. But I didn't see anything that's like, oh my gosh. Like I saw AP, open work, balance wheel, that type of stuff, but I don't think that's really a great watch. That's just my opinion. Something like a minute repeater or a split second chronograph is a whole lot better, or a grand comp. Whole lot better. Because these watches, the people who are making those type of watches, they're dying out. And there's not that many people going to school for that, so I might go back to school for that eventually, but that's probably another story for another day. Not like something that presents a challenge. I like puzzles, I like, difficult stuff. But that's besides the point. Like, I think to a certain extent, when we're talking about the price tag on a watch, some of this stuff, I wouldn't even say like, so let's say Jacob & Co. If someone had to ask me what I think about Jacob & Co., I would say Jacob & Co. is not really a strong watch brand. Me personally, I would never buy anything from Jacob. It's not because I hate Jacob, I just don't think his watches are all that. I feel like once you live in a market that's kind of cloudy, or there's not that many options or variety of certain stuff like that, you have a strong hold on the market. Like, I saw this watch, like, the market in which I live in, we only have, like, Seiko, we have Tudor, we have Rolex. Rolex is dog water to me. There's other brands that I think are just give you a great amount of variety. It's in the same price range, or I would say echelon as a Rolex, but at the end of the day, you only have a handful of authorized retailers. Like, I could give you possibly like 5 brands that are on par with Rolex. I say Lange. I can say, let's see, Lange, Vacheron. I mean, AP is not really that expensive, but the resale market does, because AP's on like $20,000. As long as we're talking about like regular stuff, like Royal Oak, Offshore, and depending on the material, as long as it isn't made with a precious metal and just a Royal Oak, as long as it's made with not another precious metal, stainless steel model. It's going for between 27 and 47. That's not necessarily affordable too, but I know Rolexes go for higher than like 40. So it just depends. Like, you get a platinum Daytona, that's $75,000. You could very easily get yourself a Richard Mille for $75,000. It's not going to be one of the good ones. It's going to be like the rectangular, or the basically square, or one of the rounds. And the thing about watches, there's just so many different brands out here, and really, I really want to leave this game. I'm going to leave this game because I'm not having a blast, but I think I'm having an okay thing with talking. I said Vacheron, Lange, Let's see. Who is better? You got Gerard Perigo. That's another one. And I said AP. So we have AP Vacheron, Gerard Perigo. Let's see. Who else makes a decent watch? Outside. I would say too. I watch a lot of stuff. Front Wheeler makes okay watches for $5,500. You getting a pretty nice watch. That's on budget. They don't take that much of a haircut. Breitling is doo doo. I hate Breitling. Hublot is doo doo too. Hublot, bigger bang. I think people try to buzz down a Hublot. Hublot's just trash. And I'm not going to even really try to, because they knock off AP, they knock off all the big watches. Bell & Ross is like this British brand. They don't make necessarily bad watches. Their watches just are not that popular. And what you're paying for is not that good. FP Jordan too is popular, well, popular than Rolex, but you can't get it. A Chronomet Blue. If I had money and I made $150 a year, I'd possibly blow past that $150 a year. I know people talk about sales. Sales is one of those things you can't make crap sell. I'm just sorry as I can be. I'm not afraid to speak my mind and speak my opinion because you can't make doo-doo sell. Anybody says you can make doo-doo sell, what are they smoking? I know people say I talk a lot of junk, but I can back it up. I started to ask you about what I think about too, with other stuff going on. Wow. First person's been dead. I can't believe I really had that person. Alright. Let me get on and talk to my boy. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, man. I'm out.